Welcome, viewers. This is What Did You? As when did you say? What did you do? What did you think? And my mic was not on. uh, the PS5 did an update on the microphone thing, and so it's a little different as far as making sure your mic is on than it used to be. But yeah, we're here today to do another expedition run through with the Trickster. We're still leveling up our expeditions. It's taking a second because you don't want to be under geared with this scenario. Um, and so, it takes a minute to grind the resources because it's quite expensive leveling up epic gear and legendary gear. And that's where I'm at. I personalized epic gear because I, prefer the look of, what I've got on versus some of the other stuff that's out in the game. Either way, though, I want to make a very clear point here before progressing. I don't know if you notice in the lower left-hand corner here of my bar, above my health, you see like a shield icon, you see a weapon icon, and you see an anomaly icon. The shield icon shouldn't be there. Now, the weapon and the anomaly icon, I believe they should be there because it's in reference to this stand tall mod here, which gives you anomaly power and firepower when you're out of cover for more than 5 seconds. Um, but the shield icon that you see down below there, that should not be there. Um, and the thing is that I'm build testing, trying to figure out what works best in these um, expeditions for me anyway. And and I'll be honest with you, like I've tried firepower builds, I've tried anomaly builds, and essentially it seems like for me, I need a combination of both. I don't know what people are doing out there, but I'm being honest with you. I think this game is buggy in a lot of ways, and I've encountered that it seems like these mods here that give you an effect when your health drops below 30%. I think every single one of them are bugged in some way, shape, or form. Like I've seen, like right now, because I was going back and forth between these pants and the other ones, trying to figure out which setup I needed and just how tanky I needed to be. Because I'll be honest with you, the enemies just ripped the shit out of my character. I mean, like, and I've heard some debate about that too. Like, there's an individual that's claimed that they've created a second character from the demo. They have a trickster from the demo, transferred to the main game, takes mad damage. Created a new trickster, still kept the old one, but traded a new trickster, just swapped the gear over when they leveled it up, and it's taking far less damage. Now, I don't know if that individual, if that, just how accurate that is. They're doing some testing on that. But as far as I know, I'm wondering if they ran across this situation I'm dealing with here, and that I've seen other people report too. These people I see on these broadcasts and these videos, and they talking about their build and all this bullshit. I mean, I think they bullshitting you somewhere along the way. They're taking advantage of the fact that certain mods are broke. Certain elements of the game are bugged, and to me, I think any of these things that give you 30%, give you perks or bonuses above 30%. Excuse me. They give you bonuses when your health drops below 30% are all a bit bugged. Um, you got a host of them. And I think what people are doing is they're setting up various different gear pieces because I've seen several of those. Because yesterday I was practicing my build off camera and I was putting various different things in, and I noticed several of them seem to be continuing to work.
So do the Outriders.
Well, after you take out the mod or change out the gear. So, like, here's one right here where anomaly power. Um, oh no, this one. Hold on. So yeah, so like I think all these are probably will proc that way. Anything that gives you something below 30%, like This could possibly always be in effect even though you take the mod out. I've seen the cooldown work even after I've taken the mod out or unequipped the pants. Like today, it doesn't seem to be doing that. Like I said, I was doing some testing again after I turned on the game, and it didn't seem to be doing that. And I think once you close out the game, these benefits don't seem to be constant. Like if you, I think if you go to your main screen or your the lobby, basically, I believe it still holds. But once you close the game down, the benefits that this broken system seems to provide stop being constant. Um, but yeah, and I don't know if every single one of them are a little weird, but I think a good percentage of them are weird. Like for example, the adrenaline one, the golem one seems to be weird in that, excuse me, I still continue to receive at all times the shield or the damage mitigation of the golem effect, even though it is not. You don't see the golem effect on the character. I get the benefit of the damage mitigation. I'm not, saying like I said, that's what it seems like. Now this one here, where you get 300% extra melee damage if your health drops below, I don't think that one's still staying constant. But I feel like I have seen this work. But like I said, it's weird. Like I think that the game's able to hold on to one, maybe two of this broken mechanic where the benefit is still constant, even though you know what I'm saying, you don't see the mod, active or even equipped to your character gear. Like, what I'm saying, so like right now, I took those pants out. I mean, I'm not wearing the pants right here with this golem effect, and yet I'm seeing that shield icon, and I'm still receiving the damage mitigation when I'm in combat. And what's funny is for me, um, with the way the damage comes in with these enemies, at these higher level expeditions, um, having, you know, uh, using this mod here in conjunction, well, like this, using borrowed time and the mod that you can use with borrowed time, where while the ability is active, you receive 92,960 armor and 30% resistance bonus. Let me tell you, I still need that on top of what the golem effect is arbitrarily or by default applying to my character anyway. Like I'm telling you, the damage is nuts that comes through. And I mean, and I've tried firepower builds and, where you're burning targets well, for me, pretty quickly. I don't know if I'm doing it quite as fast as everybody else on camera that seems to promote some of these builds are doing. But again, they may be taking advantage of certain other broken mechanics that they're not announcing, or and they, and also too, like I haven't completely focused like every single piece of clothing or gear in firepower. Like I'll have almost everything in firepower except two things. You know what I'm saying? Because of my styling options. But at the same time, like I said, if I just focus on firepower and I take out damage mitigation things like health and what have you, I'm suffering big time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they are just ripping you to shreds. I mean, every angle of attack, every moment they can shoot you. They're shooting you. They're attacking you. They're flushing you. And so, you see these people broadcasting things, and they're um, standing, just walking around shooting stuff. And yeah, they're healing through the damage for the most part. But I'm telling you, there's something else going on that they're not explaining. And one of those things, like I said, is here where um, this golem effect is active even though the mod is not in, the damage mitigation is there. But yeah, this is what I'm doing on my build at the moment because, like I said, it running around shooting things individually um, just seems to take forever. Take too long. I mean, even when you're burning through things quickly, you still can only shoot one thing at a time. Depending on what mods you might have, you might be able to proc damage in relationship to other enemies and take out maybe a couple or something like that, one or two maybe. But the thing is for me, a combination build of damage, of uh, anomaly firepower, and damage mitigation seems to work for me. Because if I go in there with the glass cannon, they just melt me. Like I don't see how people are going in there with glass cannon builds solo and surviving. I don't see it. You know, um, and even when you add in one or two pieces that are giving you some kind of damage mitigation, I call it horseshit. Even if they show you a video of it, they're not telling you something probably about some kind of mod or something that's being active that's not registering, or they don't have equipped, or they're just lucky that saying that they were able to make it um, and not have an issue. Like I said, I don't know. I really don't know uh, because it's like the way certain people advertise it has worked for me. I don't know if they're using some kind of aim bot on their shit. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm being honest with you, that shit don't work for me. So what you see here on my gear has been working for me, along with this added golem effect weirdness that's going on, as far as even with the damage mitigation. I wish I could add some more damage in to kind of increase my clearer times, but to be honest with you, this is about as good as it gets in the scenarios I've run across to try to not die, because I mean, trust me, when you get to these higher levels, the enemies act like you're a piece of meat in a tank of sharks. I mean, you're just chum. You're chum. They're just chewing all on you. I mean, like literally, piranha, vicious piranha. So to me, having a combination of firepower as well as deep, as well as anomaly ability seems to work well. Um, Again, it'd be nice if I could go ahead and take out um, this borrowed time, for example, because I can't seem to do without the teleport. I mean, teleporting around the battlefield is so helpful because the enemies are just running away from you, knowing that you're on a time limit. They're, they'll immerse you or surround you. They'll do various different things in such a way where getting out of that predicament is so critical and very key for me. Like I said, I'm not even sure if I can even deal with this expedition shit with these other characters. I mean, maybe the Devastator because of the gravity leap, but if they stun you or stun lock you or hit you in a certain way, sometimes you can't even activate your move, let alone you can't even reload your weapon. That's the reason why here I've I have these two weapons here providing debuffs. Weakness, this one provides vulnerability, and this one here, resistance breaker. Because they rebuild resistance to your shit, man. It's ridiculous. You hit them all day, and they're like, whatever. And so, I've got the bleed here, I've got the death chains here, and then like when I get a fire mod that's a level 3, I'll probably put that in there. But and and I've got this clip roller. So basically, I get damage over time fed back to me by way of, as you can see at the bottom, my 14% skill life leech. So anything that's providing damage over time is going to give me health when it's for creating that damage, even when I'm not, engaged at that target. Um, and then I have this clip roller because the thing is that I kid you not, the AI is sitting there, they're omnipotent, they know when you're low on ammo, and they know that they can get you, and because you're going to be stuck in some kind of reload animation, and if you get stunned or hit a certain way, you can't reload, and sometimes you can't even dodge long enough to get your reload together. Especially if you're using something like this at 2.7 seconds, even something like this at 1.5 seconds, I've seen issues. Now, something like this here, 1.6, same thing. So the thing is that in less than a second, I can switch from any of my weapons to my sidearm, and all I have to do is shoot 3 shots and do one dodge. And guess what? I reload every weapon. So basically, I cycle through my weapons. I hit them. I make them weak so that they're not inflicting damage. I make them vulnerable but the damage I'm about to inflict, because I'm not really expecting, because I'm dealing with an anomaly build. I'm not really expecting my weapons to do a whole hell of a lot of damage, but they're going to do damage enough to kill stuff, grant you. But the main damage I'm dealing right now, as you can see on my stats, is my anomaly damage. Because like I said, I've tried the firepower build, and shooting each individual target one at a time just takes forever. And so with this anomaly build and using the temporal blade, I'm able to take out multiple targets at once, all over the place. Now it would be nice if I had lower cooldown, but you have to make compromises. And because I'm doing a melee centered build here, my melee, the character's melee scales off of your anomaly power. Then on top of that, I got an extra 100% damage increase, and then I've got the 50% cooldown. So I can lay in some serious damage with just the melee strike. So I'm hitting, I'm teleporting, I'm temporal blading, and it would be great if I could put back in this time rift, because I really do like that. The Venator's knife is a nice option too, because you can range that situation a little bit better. But like on a melee type build, it looks good to have to do this time rift move right there. But um, I like the utility as well as the damage of the Ventur's knife a little bit better, to be honest with you. But I really do like the effect and the look and the feel of using the time rift, to be honest with you. Plus two, time rift gives an interrupt, and you want to be able to interrupt these enemies' abilities, because I kid you not. And so, like right now, all I have an interrupt is my temporal blade, the way things are set up. Your melee works as an interrupt too, as well as I've noticed critical shots to the head of a target will create a, an interrupt at times. At times, if you can get it in enough, and it's hitting hard enough, it'll give you an interrupt to the enemy. Um, because I seem to need a good degree of tankiness, because let me tell you, they hit so hard. And I mean, unless you're picking and choosing which battles you fight, which is pretty much a good decision, because in my grind, I've been going through and figuring out which ones I can at least get a silver in, because once you get to a certain point, you have to at least make silver in order to progress in the level of the expeditions. So like at the moment here, to increase my firepower as well as get the most benefit out of my anomaly ability. And again, it'd be nice to have this extra 50% if I was using a deception skill. But again, a lot of times I've noticed too, I'm only keeping up at least two of these benefits oftentimes in the way the combat comes about. Like every once in a while, and if you get your timing right, you can get all three to proc, and get that benefit. And I've done that more often than not. But the thing is that, like I said, if you're not alive, you're not doing anything. So right now I have two movement skills going on, which don't seem to proc twice for this extra 50%. But the thing is that I'm using. Oh shoot, I don't have. Why is that not up there? Hold up, I'm missing something. I wish you could just adjust this without having to reassign every single thing. It's just so lame. And by the way, like this 30% on the melee, like I see that node, but I don't see anything letting me know that that procs. Unfortunately, that's what's kind of messed up about that. I hope that it's working. Um, but yeah, so I decided to fully spec in this tree here, which gives me 3.5% extra damage for everything that's unlocked in a node. And if I'm using all my and its concentration, if I'm using all my skill points or class points rather in this, then it's going up by what is it, 60 some odd percent. So 60.5%. And then you've got a few perks along the way here which give you some increased firepower damage. Um, let's see. So like, right. So but resistance piercing is very key. So that, to me, that adds towards your firepower, because if you're keeping them weak, then that's what you want to do. Um, you definitely see three more. Okay, cool. Yeah, add this weakness on your melee hits as well. Um, and then, like I said, this armor piercing and resistance piercing after the damage still is done. I mean, it's key, because I kid you not, man, they'll build up resistance to your shit, and you just be sitting there looking like a jackass, uh, not laying any damage. Now this is nice, how you can increase your firepower by 15% of your anomaly power. That, like I said, makes a big difference when you're specking in this tree. And I thought that, like, oh, I needed to branch off into some other things, which is helpful when it comes to cooldowns and stuff like that. But again, if you're doing a combination of shooting, hitting, moving, you trust me, you'll have time enough by the time whatever comes up to get to that ability, though you're not getting the benefit of the extra second or some shit like that of cooldown you might have. Now this here, I've noticed is can be quite beneficial too, because they love to immerse you, they love to surround you. So at that critical time, you're increased by 10%, and it doesn't, it doesn't care how many enemies it is. So I've seen this to be pretty beneficial too. Um, versus putting it, you could put in a flat 6% rate extra anomaly power, which isn't a bad idea either. Um, you could go for some skill leech. You could put it in other areas if you want. And to me, something like weakness, 30% longer. Like, to me, the enemy shouldn't be alive long enough for that. Now, if I had a deception skill, I'd put that last one down here, because 50% for 10 seconds every time I use my deception skill, to me, is more of a guarantee than 10% if it's just one enemy. And to me, I like to focus on my build setup where I'm compensating for the worst of the situation. And the worst of the situation you're in, more often than not, is when you're dealing with one target and there's no ads to kill to increase your ammo count for the and these horse shit, sound bite clickbait fucking titles, infinite ammo my ass. If you don't have enemies to kill and you're just fighting a boss, that's your ass. You're not getting any kind of extra infinite ammo against a single target that's not dying, with the way that these ammo perk benefits. They're good for trash mob type situations, in which case, really, whatever. So this is how I've been set up lately on things, and seems to be working as far as getting through the material, and with at least a silver. So the thing is that I still need to get my gear up to level 46, and I got, I think, one, two, yeah. So I just have this, my secondary weapon and my sidearm, to get up to level 46. So I've been practicing and trying to grind out uh, my resources through these missions here. So like the mountain outpost, I have gotten a silver time from that at well, Fire in Mind, I'm not taking it at level 46. I'm taking it at level 44 because, like I said, I notice if you're not properly geared up, in other words, and you're not at the level that all your gears at 46, like I said, you are nothing more than chum in a tank of sharks, or a tank of piranha. Man, it's ugly. The AI knows that it can dominate you and just goes into a frenzy. Um, with the attacks. So yeah, like I said, the Mountain Outpost I've did well on, and the Archways of Enoch I've did well on. Um, I was able to get a silver. Uh, Stargrave, no. Um, my best time was at like a level 5 or whatever. But yeah, so 9 out of 10 we're going to need to do too. Um, you take your pick on whichever one you want to go with here. I did this one a little earlier, warming up today. Um, I don't know. I'm like I said, they're all a beast, man. I mean, like I said, none of them are easy to deal with. But you know, um, this Archways of Enoch to me is a good example of the way that they can immerse you too. So hopefully both will be available, but to do them both because those two are on my yes list. Um, uh, so yeah, like Archways of Enoch, um, the Mountain Post, Time Worn Spire, uh, let's see, Boomtown. I'm not sure about. Let's see. Do I have notes on the chem plant? I know I did the chem plant, but I can't remember. Yeah. Well, chem plant I can succeed in, but it's the time that's been getting me on the chem plant. Like there's others that I succeed at, but I'm only getting bronze. And like I said, when you in order to excuse me, in order to progress, you got to have a silver time. So I'm kind of seeing if I can get a silver on a lower level, then hopefully I stand a better chance of getting a silver on the upper level versus only getting a bronze. So I'm still learning. This is like my third day, I think it is, dealing with these expeditions, and they can be a bit of a beast. Um, I'm still I camp each time.
Sensed a deep, humming noise reverberating from deep within the forest. It comes and goes, but during our journey it has grown louder. And next to this gate, it is more piercing than ever. Outrider, I need to know the cause of this.
Give me 1 second here. I need to check on something before I get to running in this here. But I'll pull these enemies up because let me tell you, man. Boy, the damage they put out is crazy. Um, where is this? Yeah, this thing right here. Actually, this is the worst to me. The blood morpher. Come, dude. The mechanic that they have in here for the blood morpher is broke. It's broke. That motherfucking blood morpher is beyond OP. The mechanic is uh oh. Uh oh. Shit. My game just locked up. My game just locked up. I can't do anything. Son of a bitch. Wow. Wow. Well, I guess that's going to end the broadcast. Wow. Yeah, the game locked up, y'all. I can't do nothing. Do I even have audio still? Yeah, I do. Wow. I can't do anything. I can't interact. I can't move the stick around. So yeah, the game locked up. Hurrah! I tell you, man, this game, bro. But yeah, I was going to try to show you an enemy real quick while I went to check on something because I'm micromanaging a few things to keep the, in regard to the broadcast and show you that they call them two different, but they're essentially the same thing, but they got a different name because they're in different locations. But um, yeah, you see the enemy where my little cursor's at. I just pulled up the blood morpher. But yeah. So yeah, let me go ahead. I gotta shut the game down. I gotta restart it, and shutting it down and restart ends the broadcast. So when we come back, we're gonna be hopefully an expedition. I don't know if this expedition is going to be available to me when I come back up in the game. This expedition might not be still be there. So, but we're going to be. I'm gonna load into an expedition and start the broadcast and where we left off. So I hope to be back shortly, hopefully. But yeah, there's a lot of issues with this Outriders thing here, and there are ways apparently to take advantage of the issues or be subject to them. Because there's things working, there's things not working, there's things working too much, and I'm here to let you know, like, I'm definitely taking advantage of the point that I can get more shields or more damage mitigation because to be honest with you, the way the damage is coming in, they're not setting us up for a solo player. It's not, they're lying to us when they say that a solo person can go all the way to end game. You can't. Yeah, maybe you'll get to the doorstep of it, but you won't get to the end of it. I don't know if they're setting it up like this to push people into to the co-op situation. But right now, the co-op situation still hasn't been cleared as far as people losing their inventory. So I'm not messing with it. That's the reason why I change locations every time I come out of expeditions because people were losing their stuff from the Outriders camp. So like I said, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. And I'm not even really clear if what I'm understanding is to be the case. But let me tell you, it's some raggedy bullshit what they got going on in this game, man. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot to be had, and I don't think I nor anybody else would probably be saying the things we're saying if it didn't mean something to us. If it didn't matter to us that this worked properly, it didn't matter to us that we did well at this game because we like it. There's just so many cool elements about it. It's not funny, but so hopefully they can work out the bugs and make this something that we can continue to enjoy versus being subject to positively or negatively to the crap that's going on. And then for them to nerf, the time limits on the thing when you've got things that are bugged in the game that are people taking advantage of various different as uh, 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 you know um, issues with the game one way or the other, dude, that's just not right. It's just not right to anybody that could be potentially trying to play this game properly, which is what I'm trying to do. I mean, and that's the reason why I went to World 15 naturally throughout the game progress, and it wasn't until the end boss that I was like, fuck it, dude, I'm putting down the World Tier to 1 because, dude, the mechanics are just stupid. Just ridiculously stupid. You know what I'm saying? It's just, they just take absurd to a whole new fucking level sometimes with this, man. But anyway, let me get going. Stop running my mouth and, on my tirade here. I apologize, but like I said, I gotta reset my game. I was trying to see also too if some shit would just work again, but it's not. Anyway, I'll be back. Take care.